What's up, YouTube? It's your girl T, and I'm coming to you with something that bothers me. Everybody's not going to agree. I'll probably catch some flack for this video. We know I don't care. I'm going to voice my opinion. I'm not going to be ignorant or disrespectful. I'm just going to say what I think. So, in the wake of the Borderline shooting, I woke up to that news this morning. I had no idea what had happened. And you always feel a sense of sadness and a sense of, I can't believe it yet again. And I don't know what it is and why school shootings have become so prevalent lately. Or mass shootings, period. I personally had no recollection of anything like that happening before Columbine. And now it seems like, you know, Post Nightclub and Borderline and all of the different schools. It's just like a hobby now to go and shoot up innocent people who've done nothing to you and take their lives. But what comes out of that all the time that I notice is this correlation that I don't see. So immediately, politicians and activists and just everyday people say, oh my God, another shooting. Gun control now. I have a problem with that. Because my theory is gun control only affects law-abiding citizens. People who would shoot up a Borderline nightclub, generally not law-abiding citizens. Because even if that's the first time you broke the law or the first time you got caught, you broke the law. You're not a law-abiding citizen. So if you have such little value of human life that you would go into a nightclub and shoot 12 people who did nothing to you, you're not going to really give a shit about the gun control laws. This is just my opinion. You're not going to care. You're not going to abide by them. It's not going to affect you at all. More stringent gun laws only affect law-abiding citizens. Most criminals are not that. Most people who commit these heinous crimes are not that. So it's not going to affect them. So, if I'm of a mind that I want to go and I want to commit a mass shooting, and I need an assault rifle, I'm going to get an assault rifle. If I go through proper channels and do that as a citizen of the United States with a registered license, that's fine. But I don't necessarily have to if I'm of the mind that I want to go and I want to shoot up a nightclub. I can get it other ways. There are other means. So, again, gun control is not going to stop mass shootings. It's not. The next thing that bothers me that also comes up in these situations like this are mass shootings, mental disease or defect. That bothers me because that's not always the case. Mental health is an important thing. Mental health is something that does not get enough attention. Therefore, it does not get the funding that it needs to research and come up with better medicines. So the people who are suffering from mental illnesses are medicated on medicines that make them zombies, which of course they don't want to take. So they either self-medicate or they don't medicate. And then that does cause some problems. But I think it's very rare that someone who genuinely has a mental illness does something of this caliber. I think that people who commit murders and mass shootings and these homegrown terror attacks are not at all mentally ill. They're just evil. And I know I've mentioned that before and I've said that before because sometimes evil is just evil. And I don't think people really take that into consideration when talking about, oh, how could they do this? They must be mentally ill. Oh, they had problems in school. 30 years later, they shoot up a nightclub. Somebody made fun of them and they retaliated. Okay, first of all, if somebody makes fun of you and you retaliate, if you're bullied, bullying is absolutely wrong, should not occur, but we all know it does, and we've all at some level in our lives experienced it or witnessed it. But Loads of people have been bullied and not come back and killed their classmates or shot up their job. Loads of people disagree, but they don't go and shoot up a gay nightclub, which of course happened at Pulse. And I don't get it. I don't get the correlation. To me, there is no correlation. There is no correlation between mass shootings and mental health disorders. Because I think it's a crutch and I think it's an excuse. You say that these homegrown terrorists are mentally disabled. They need help. They weren't responsible for their actions. That's a bunch of bullshit to me. First of all, terror is terror. Most of the terror that takes place in the United States is homegrown. I'm sure I haven't got all the information on the Borderline nightclub shooting, but almost positive it was an American, born and raised right here, who committed the act. 9 times out of 10, it was a white American male. That is not a racist statement. That's just a fact, because that's how it goes down. All these terror attacks, it's never the people that the media, that the government, that the president would have you fear. These are not the people that are committing these acts. But that's a whole different video. Right now, I just want to talk about the correlation between mass shootings and mental health disorders, or the fact that I don't think there is one. If you agree or disagree, either way, have your say. This is, a public forum. But I just think that some people are totally and utterly evil, hateful, mean people. So they do evil, hateful, mean things. And they're just totally batshit crazy because they don't make sense to people with common sense. And when I say totally batshit crazy, I don't mean crazy or mentally ill or retarded or anything like that. And when I say retarded, I'm using that in the dictionary definition type of way. Retard meaning to stop, as in mentally stopped or stunted. It's not an insult. But I think that people who genuinely have a mental illness are overlooked for these people who use mental illness as a defense for a crime, temporary insanity. Yeah, I know there are things that can temporarily throw you off your game and you just like, whoa, where did I go for a second? But I don't think that's mental illness. Temporary insanity is not mental illness. And being batshit crazy is not mental illness. You're just fucking crazy. And you just went to a nightclub and you shot up all these people who ain't do anything to you. And now this whole country's rocked and 12 families have lost a family member. And it's just crazy. And my prayers go out to the families, the victims, the survivors, everybody who was affected at the Borderline shooting, and to Adam and Tamara Housley for the loss of their niece, Elena. That I heard that this morning, and I was hoping all day that she was not among the number that did not make it. And then I read later on this evening that she was. So my prayers go out to the Housley family as well. But it's insane. And I'm just like, insane. When I use these words, insane, crazy, it's not the clinical definition. Because that these people are not mentally ill. Stop using that as a crutch. There are plenty of mentally ill people in our society that need help. These people who go and kill innocent people, they are not those people. And that's just my 2 cents. That's how I feel about it. So again, my prayers go out to everyone affected by the Borderline shooting. And I just want people to understand that gun control isn't going to change mass shootings. And mental disease or defect is not the reason for them. Have a blessed evening.